Hello, welcome to Intelligent Politics Online video blog. My name is Christopher Jobert, and I will be giving you the updates from the Intelligent Politics Online viewpoint. If you're not familiar with www.intelligentpoliticsonline.com, allow me to tell you a little bit about it. It's written by me. My name is Christopher Jobert again. I am a stay-at-home dad with my degree being in chemical engineering. I am an avid reader and follower of politics, and I consider myself a bit of a libertarian, a moderate libertarian. I am not a extreme libertarian. Those that are pitching the quote-unquote voluntary society, really, honestly, there's a lot of flaws with that level of extremism and libertarianism. There needs to be a bit of a reality check for them. Today's video, and our first video, is going to go over the Snowden situation. Is he a hero or is he a traitor? What type of man is he? Well, let me give you some perspective on my family. My wife is of Russian descent. She was born in New York City, but her father was not. Her father was born under Stalin in the Soviet Union and fled in the 1970s to come here. Her father spent a lot of time, my father-in-law spent a lot of time in Siberia because he was a dissident. And he did exactly what Edward Snowden did. He smuggled information out to the world media so that people knew what was going on in the Soviet Union that was so wrong. That's what Snowden did. That makes Snowden a dissident. Is he a hero for being a dissident? Is he a traitor for being a dissident? Right now, he's neither. He could become either, but the main thing is he did the morally right thing at the right time. Now, only the future will decide, honestly, whether he becomes that hero that he should be viewed as, in my opinion at least, or a traitor. He ran to Hong Kong, and I know people on both sides of the aisle are using this as a method of demonizing the man. But we need to keep in perspective that my father-in-law ran from the Soviet Union to the United States. Leaving your country when your country is doing more things that are morally objectionable is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a great thing either, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, in particular if you don't think that there's any way that it's going to change. And that's where Snowden really probably is. He's probably viewing it, saying that things are not going to change. And unfortunately, he's right. Things in this country cannot change until we acknowledge that we have a huge, huge problem. And that problem is our political parties. Both parties are responsible for what Snowden saw. It's not just the Republicans. It's not just the Democrats. It is a program that was started under George Bush, expanded under Barack Obama, had bipartisan support, and has politicians on both sides of the aisle saying, well, you don't have the right to expect any privacy in today's society. Just because technology has changed a little bit, they think they can take our freedom, our privacy away from us. And that is wrong. We need to acknowledge that the problem, the heart of this problem, lies in our political system and in the two parties which are corporately owned. Each party has its own corporate owners, but both parties at the end of the day are owned by one of two corporations and not by the voters. And that is our problem. That right there. That the voters really don't matter anymore. I am going to pitch a couple of solutions for you. Whether these are perfect solutions or terrible solutions, I'll let you decide. But the first solution I would pitch is getting rid of, and in fact, banning and boycotting the concept of a political party. It could probably be done via referendum on the local level, possibly even up to the state level. And if you get a couple of states to kill the political parties system, that's it. The concept of Republican or Democrat no longer matters. The politicians will then have to stand for the issues they want. Why is this important? Well, people like to be on a team that wins. Everybody wants to say, hey, my team is the good team. I want to win on my team. That creates a core of voters who are going to vote for a political party, regardless of what that political party actually believes in. And you can see this today. All you have to do is look around in a few places, and you will see a host of people voting for Democrat because they are Democrats, and therefore the Democratic Party is the right party, even if that party doesn't agree with anything that the person personally agrees with. They grew up in a Democratic household, so they're still Democrats. And that is how the vast majority of Americans get their politics. Let's be honest. It's handed down from parent to child. So that being said, that's the first solution. The second solution, a bit more realistic, is to pull state referendums wherever we can on term limits for senators and congressmen, and force the issue out and say that even if there's no federal law, maybe we can get state laws passed which put a limit on serving in the same political office for more than 2 terms within each state. This would be a very good place to start. It would be an excellent place to start, actually, and it would help reduce the amount of corruption. And there's really no nice way to say it. We are dealing with a society in which the political parties have been corrupted by greed for power and greed for money. And both of these cases, we have these politicians who are simply untrustworthy. They're the ones that actually put Edward Snowden in this situation. And they did it at our request. A situation which required him to do the morally right thing. After putting Edward Snowden in this situation, he had no choice but to do what he thought was morally right. And I applaud him for that. Was it morally right? I think so. I don't think our government has any business spying on us unless there's a warrant out for our arrest. But there are people that disagree. I'd like to point out that back when I was growing up during the Cold War, and yes, it was at the end of the Cold War, but we still heard the stories of Russia, and how in Russia, Soviet Union, Russia at this time, this is exactly what they were doing to their people. We were appalled. We were proud of the fact that we didn't do that to our people. We didn't sit there and observe them and watch them and spy on our own people because we weren't afraid of our own people. And that loss of that sense of pride and freedom and liberty, that is a major thing going on in our nation. It's a symptom of something much bigger. And in fact, Learn Liberty has a video that you should check out where they talk about what would people fight for. I'll put the link in it below. And it's kind of sad what the response they got from college students today. That is the reality of where we are, though. Americans don't think there's anything worth standing up for anymore, and they will just lie down and take whatever's given to them, unless somebody stands up for them. I don't know what happened to us, but we are certainly not my grandfather's generation or even my father's generation. And in the end, we may lose everything because of the apathy of our current generation. I truly believe that if anything is going to be done to change this political scheme, it is going to have to be done in our generation. I am not advocating for any sort of revolution or anything like that. I don't think it would work. I have a whole host of reasons why it wouldn't. But unlike the liberals, I'm not going to blame it on military, because actually militarily it could win. Yes, militarily it could win with more than 3 million infantry armed even with bolt-action rifles. That would be more than enough to overwhelm the total of the United States combat-capable military and all of the police forces in the United States. So militarily, it's not a question of who can win and lose. What it's really a question of is, can they win on moral grounds afterwards? How do you hold the Constitution up without changing it, without disenfranchising people, which is important, and still have a representative republic which allows the entirety of its populace a vote? And I don't think that that's possible with a victory. Now, the only way left to change things then is to do it legitimately through politics. And that is going to take a lot of effort. Edward Snowden, I applaud you for doing the right thing at the right time. Hopefully, this will shed a light on everything that our government is doing wrong and get enough voters to go out and change their minds about whether they really want to be members of that Democratic or Republican Party. Until the next blog, I thank you for watching. Comment down below. Go ahead and complain and flame away. I'm ready for it. Have a good one.